Hey everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have my 1993-ish, something around that range, 91, 92, 93, Craftmade Presidential II. So, even though this is the first version of the Presidential II, they still called it that because the Presidential I, at the time, was just it kind of looked like a Homestead fan, sort of, and it had the same 4-inch switch housing with the Casablanca style switch cap, and it was plain. So this is the Victorian copy of that little model series, I guess. And yeah, so I got this out of a house like what, a year and a half ago now? It's been a while. It's just sitting in a box. Placed it with a CXL in white. They wanted a plain white look in the whole house. We did their entire house full of fans. And got this out of it. This is the only fan I wanted. The rest of them weren't Craftmade builders, I think, or maybe they weren't even Craftmade. But I recently got these relic, I think they're maple or oak or something, I don't know. Relic blades, and they look amazing on this fan. And originally I bleached oak, so this is much preferred. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go ahead and demonstrate it, starting with low. And then there'll be 4 blades and 5. So what's interesting about this is the parts are they're not really stamped like normal Craftmade stuff, and it actually weighs just as much as the Victorian. And the top plate actually has the same similar kind of K55 type hole on the top, so you could put a stack motor in this if you wanted to. They really built it as if it were a stack motor, but it's of course a 188mm spinner motor, which is most of Craftmade fans let me try to rephrase that. Contrary to popular belief, Craftmade actually has a lot of high quality fans. They're always sleepers. So people like Chandru will say, "Oh, it's Craftmade, it's so bad." No, it's not. So don't believe the lies. They're actually pretty great fans. This one has a pretty badly warped blade. And Alan's with me. Announce your presence. Yeah. Alan Pavon. Whatever, however you want to say his last name. It's better to say it Pavone, but who cares. I'm using the tassel from his original. I would have tested that too, but Mr. Dimwit over here didn't bring the U-bolt.
You can still use a hook.
Yeah, I can probably get something up. I don't know. But I've wanted to test this for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
We can do multiple things if we want.
So there's medium. And I like how these are 4-5 blade. The blades actually came off of a Presidential II as well. I didn't want that fan because it was the badge, no, it wasn't the badge blade. It was the pre-badge blade, but ornate blade arms version.
Same finish?
No.
Oh.
It was oil rub bronze or something like that. I didn't really want it. Plus I was like, you know what, those arms are rare because the badge style was more common. So I think it would be better if we had them in our stock for spare parts instead, so that's what happened to it. We parted it out. Bearings are slightly rough on this. It's also been sitting in my garage for over a year without being used. I don't remember it being noisy when we replaced it because I ran it before so I could get airflow while I was unboxing the new fan. And then we'll go to high speed. Of course it cranks out a bunch of air and goes pretty fast. At least 210, 220 RPM, probably more. It's a fast fan.
Whips.
I mean, again, people always want to say they're bad, but they're not. And it is polished brass. It looks slightly chrome in the video. You can kind of see the yellow. It's in the video.
Oh, right.
Definitely hope to install this somewhere. Maybe at my grandma's house or something, but that might not ever happen, so I'll have to see.
Look good with the hunter is.
I'm not big on ornate fans for my personal preference of decor. So I actually would never probably install this in my own home, or any of my Victorians for that matter, just because it doesn't fit what I like the most. But I have a lot of relatives that could use fans like this and my other Victorians. And at first glance, besides the blade arms, it really does look a lot like a Victorian. I mean, once you get up close and see that the reverse switch is in the wrong orientation and such, and the lack of a hang true, it's obvious. But without the blades and such, as a, you know, just fan sitting at Habitat or something, it does look a lot like a Victorian. Of course, the switch cap is different, but a Victorian switch cap will fit this fan. And it even has the same style of two standoff deals that fit into the holes to kind of, you know.
You could put a K4 on there.
Yeah, you could. K5L if I wanted to. I'd
That's cool.
just have to find a way to wire the light separately, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this is a really well built fan, and the Presidential I also was built the same way. These were way higher quality than the CXLs, and the American Tradition wasn't around, so this was basically, the plain version of this was the American Tradition's predecessor in terms of the maximum. And I think these actually have 188 by 25 motors instead of 15, so they're even more powerful. So this was their top of the line fan at the time, and it lasts to today. It's still made. So yeah, now we'll see the 5 blades. Alright, here's the 5 blade configuration, starting off with low. You can hear the hum of whatever ballast that is. I think it's the one in the smaller light behind the fan there, that one. Not sure.
Fast low.
It's alright.
I guess it just looks that way with 5 blades.
Yep. Yeah, that's another thing. 4 blades looks more aesthetically pleasing on low. You cannot argue with that one.
Yeah.
We have the 4 blade versus 5 blade argument all the time. As y'all already know, I much prefer 4 blades on almost everything. There's a few things I do not like 4 blades on, but pretty much everything I like 4 blades much better than 5. And Alan is the opposite. He's a big, I must have everything with 5 kind of person. Alright, medium. And he's more silent than the other special guests, quote unquote, we've had on this lovely channel.
I don't want to interrupt your viewing pleasure.
Nah, you're not. You can offer commentary and make yourself known to the world.
I'll make myself known to the world when I start uploading videos on my channel.
You need to soon, because you got some cool stuff.
I do.
I want to film your Monaco, and I want to make it mine too.
No.
That is up to your mom on that though, so maybe I can get her to let me buy it from her eventually.
If you ever get it, you're not getting a light kit. I know that for sure.
I'll be like, hey, but she said she owns it and she bought it, so light kit included, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm not letting that thing go.
It looks to wobble about the same no matter how many blades it has, because of that really.
Wobble a little bit more with 4.
Probably because I had the...
you had the one bent blade.
Yeah, if I didn't have that one on, it wouldn't
one
wobble.
bent blade.
I just grabbed the first blade and I realized, oh no, it was kind of too late.
I don't think you did realize till now.
No, I did. I knew it was on there. That one was actually warped upwards for whatever reason on the original fan.
It looks a lot faster. Funny enough, before I wasn't getting air over here. Now with 5 blades, I'm actually getting air over here.
I felt air on my legs no matter what. 4 or 5
like
blades.
A wall right here with 4 blades. I'm not even joking.
Part of it's probably because of what you're next to. You're next to one of those lights that makes a lot of heat. But it doesn't move more air with 5. That's not how that works.
I know. Unless it's just a really powerful motor with a lot of torque.
Oh, it does. I mean, you could see how much torque it had. It spins the fan.
Then it might really not have lost any speed.
It does look to be spinning about the same speed, though. Roughly. But speed is not the reason 4 blades moves more air.
Yeah. It's
It's because it has more space between the blades to catch more air. That's why. That's why industrial fans are 3 or 4 bladed. You never see 5 blade industrial fans because they're not useful. I mean, if that ain't a good argument for 4 versus 5, I don't know what is, because that's a perfect example. Why are there no 5-blade industrial fans? Because they don't make a viable maximum airflow device with that many.
And Emerson with the blender fan and the heat cycler stuck with 4 instead of 3.
I think it's because they started having a lot of people buy them for residences as well. Because
A heat cycler for a residence?
well, a heat fan is what I mean.
A
Because
lot of those, because those are pretty much early reintroduction of ceiling fans.
yeah, that was, well, they were still around, obviously, but the heat fans replaced the long nose. Although I think the long nose might have, no, it didn't, because the
like,
Universal
there was barely a
Series,
ceiling fan market in the mid '60s.
the Universal Series, and the heat fan / Universal whatever.
Series was made for home, I know that.
Yeah, those came out in like the late '60s.
The Universal Series was like not till '70s.
Well, I mean the heat fan itself, the whole
Yeah.
design. I'm just calling it both because I've heard people say
want one
both.
so bad.
Me too.
Childhood.
That's one thing I've surprisingly never found. I've seen them in person, but I've never found one for sale. Out of all the common fans that are uncommon in other parts of the United States, that's one that I've not found yet. There's actually a few of them at the fair.
Really?
Mhm.
Where?
One of the restaurants.
Oh.
I just forgot to take you to it last year, and this year it was closed. So,
Like,
rip.
what
There's like,
kind?
they're 4-blade, and I think there's like 5 or 4 of them.
Small or 4-blade big?
52.
Oh,
It's switch housings too.
I like the small.
And there's a bunch of originals as well. Brown originals, and I think. And a lot of them are 5-blade.
I wanna
there's some
see that
4.
now.
Next year. Yeah, like I said though, I'd like to put this up somewhere. I think this would fit really great in my grandma's house, my mom's parents. In the bedroom that has a high ceiling, this would look nice up there. But they'll never probably let me put fans up there, and I'd have to replace the box. I guarantee you that box is the plastic box up there. It's always been a light fixture. So, yeah, well that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. This was my 1993-ish, somewhere in that range, Craftmade Presidential II. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.